what's up? John Sonmez from simpleprogrammer.com. So today I got a book review for you on a book that is a long-ass book. I'm telling you, it's a very long book. It's a book that I talked about briefly. I don't think I did a full review on, but I talked about in all the books I read this year, post or video, both the post and the video. And what it is it's a book called Tools of the Titans by Tim Ferriss. Now, this is a very interesting book. In that review where I talked about it the first time, when I was only partially into the book, at first I was disappointed, I have to tell you. I was disappointed with this book because I thought, all right, this is basically just a bunch of the stuff I've already heard on Tim Ferriss's podcast, excellent podcast, but it's just the same stuff from the guests. And okay, so he basically took all of that and just made a book out of it. Not a big whoop. But my mind is changed, I'll tell you. I was only partially through the book when I first got that impression. I was a little bit disappointed because I felt like it's not a real book. But after reading through that and reading the entire book, which is long, I got a lot of information out of it, a lot of valuable stuff. What he basically did was he didn't just take the interviews that he did with the guests on the podcast, but he took the best parts and took the most interesting information and he took the most actionable piece of advice and he distilled it down. So it's a huge tome, but it's like concentrated advice and information from all of these world-class performers, athletes, guests that shared. You know, not every part of the book is wonderful, but there's a huge amount of good information there. So I really enjoyed the book. I felt like there's a lot of pieces and just gems of wisdom. What I'd love to do is I'd love to get a list of all the books that were referenced in the book and start adding some of those to my reading list because there's some really good books and some really good things that were in there. But yeah, you know, if you listen to the Tim Ferriss podcast, which is a really good podcast, by the way, you can also check out what I think of Tim Ferriss here. I did a video on that. But if you listen to the podcast, which is valuable, I think you'll get even more out of the book because it'll refresh your memory on some of the things that the guest said and really distill down maybe like an hour and a half to 2 hour conversation into a couple of pages worth of text in the book. So you're getting sort of the best of the best. And he really, really did a good job of doing that. So it's actually a really, really good book. I can't really recommend it enough. It's one of those books that I highly recommend that you read because learning from a lot of really successful people and just seeing a lot of the ways that they think alike, a lot of the ways that they think differently, a lot of the techniques that they use, really valuable hacks that I feel like helped me a lot, and I'm going to be putting some of that to use. I'll probably go through the book multiple times and use it as a reference as well. So highly recommend it. I did not get the audio version of this. I don't know if there is an audio. There's probably not an audio version yet. This was a Kindle version that I read. There's a little bit of problems with the Kindle version. I think maybe you might even want to get a physical version of this, especially if you're going to note it up and bookmark it and put highlights in there, which is something that I would probably do. I may actually get a physical version just so I can do that, even though I have a Kindle version. Anyway, highly recommend this book. Again, Tools of the Titans by Tim Ferriss, and go and check it out there. If you like this video, if you want to get more of my book reviews, you can subscribe and you can get my book review playlist. Just go ahead and go to the playlist there and you can see all the reviews that I've done. Click that subscribe button below if you want to subscribe to the channel, and I will talk to you next time. Take care.